Alright, g'day Pittsburgh Steeler fans. Welcome to Steel Nation Australia. My name's Mark Davis. Welcome to Steel Nation Australia, Steel Nation Universe. I've had a bit of a shower. I've had one more drink as well. Also, I just want to say before I start this video with my mate Matty Peveril from Australia, from behind the steel curtain, a good mate of mine. We're going to talk football for the next half an hour. So hopefully, if you're in America, you can catch it late at night, or you can catch it in the morning. If you're in Australia, jump in the live chat. If you're in America, jump in the live chat. Let's see who comes in. But I want to say a quick thank you to every single person that came into the live stream today. You have no idea how cool it makes me feel when people come in, press the sub, see what's going on. We do some rating. Yes, today sucked like ass. It really sucked. Today sucked. It sucked. It was terrible. We suck. But the whole YouTube thing, the YouTube idea, the live stream idea that I'm doing with you the whole year, we live stream every single game this year. And we've got a playoff game. So I'm very thankful to that. I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to do that. I'm very happy that I can express my Steeler love and gratitude to the world. I enjoy that so fucking much. I really do. So this little spill for 1 minute to 2 minutes is just to say thank you very much. We're sitting on 290 subs. I've got a lot of work to do in the off season. This is my first rookie year to figure out what I want to do, what direction I want to go with YouTube, what direction I want to go with Facebook. What do I want to, do I want to create a website? No, I'm only joking. What do I want to do with this YouTube platform? I enjoy it so much. I appreciate the raids. I like raiding people. I like meeting people. I like talking football. The football never stops. Life goes on. Things go on with life. Life's there. But if you can take time out of your day, take time out of your day to come into the living room of Mark Davis and say, hey man, what's going on? How are you? As long as you don't call me an idiot, we're going to have a good time. We're going to talk Steeler football and we're going to talk about the NFL. So I appreciate every single person that comes in and says hello. I really do. I really do. So thank you for the first season. I thought I did pretty good this year. That was amazing. I've got over 21,000 views on YouTube. Facebook's going off. Twitch is going off, but I don't understand that beast yet, but I will. Things are happening. Things are happening all around this idea of Steeler Nation Australia. And it's turned into, like I always say, Steeler Nation Australia and Steeler Nation Universe. Because you guys are fucking everywhere. You guys are all over the shop. All over the shop. So one last thank you to every single person that comes into the live stream, if it's for one comment or if it's for 1,000 comments. And like I always say, I will talk to one person or I will talk to 1,000 people. I don't care. I do not care. It just helps me get this Steeler passion off my chest, and then we go from there. So I appreciate every single person, and I hope you enjoy this show. I hope you enjoy me and Matty, my Australian mate, and my behind the steel curtain mate, talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers season. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming to Steeler Nation Australia. Please enjoy the next half an hour to an hour, depending how we go. Cheers, guys. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Jeez, that guy's a loser. What a loser. G'day, Matty! What's going on, mate? How are you?
Mate. It's hard. It's just like you knew it was gonna happen, but you didn't want it to happen, and then it's happening, and then it's too late, and then you're feeling devastated. I was saying to my fiance, she said, "You seem sad," and I was like, "Look, I knew in going into the touchdown under show that we stood a long chance to do anything in today's game." And then we did the show, and I hyped myself up, and I put money on the game, and all the rest of it. And then
Same.
you sit here, and you're like, "Well, I kind of knew that was going to happen."
Yeah. Well, hey, Matty, I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and I've been talking all day, so this is a show about you. This is
I appreciate it, mate.
This is Matty's universe to help him get my mate Matty from my Steeler mates out there. If you're listening live, like Bob Craven is here, and the dog's going off in the background. I'm Mark Davis, and I'm from Steeler Nation Australia, but I only have my kicks here because I've been doing the cool things with Behind the Steeler Curtain. My mate Matty here is a good bloke from Australia, and he does some really good things behind the Steeler Curtain, does some good things with the Spotify, the YouTube, the War Room, talks about the draft. Got a very good analytical mind to do with the NFL, and it's fucking fun. It's so much fun to talk with Matty about the NFL. However, we are feeling pretty down. I want your natural reaction, Matty. I know you had a bit of a talk there. Your dog's going on.
Mate, that's my reaction. He's saying the whole thing. It's just going off, barking mad.
Like, I just want... What is going on? What happened today? What happened today, Matty? Let me know.
They're not good enough.
Right.
It's pretty simple. They're not good enough. Right? Yeah. See, dog agrees. Right? You talk about third down efficiency. You want to beat the Chiefs, right? You convert 7 from 16, right? You want to beat the Chiefs. Yeah, yards per pass completed was 4.4. You want to beat the Chiefs, and you average 2.8 yards per rush.
4.4 yards per completion?
Yeah.
Keep going. Preach.
Well, it's 4.4 per pass, actually. Like, not per completion, per attempt, right?
Still bad.
Terrible, right? Rushing attempts, 20, and you had 56 yards. You want to beat the Chiefs? No. That's not happening, man. That's not happening.
Okay, right. Why do you think we had a chance? Why do you think we thought we had a chance today?
So, I think the thing is everyone thought if you played the right defense and your defense scored first, right? Which we did, right? We did. We did those things and we still got beat, right? But you sat there and you went that they got pumped last time, right, by the Chiefs. You thought, hang on, they're going to have a bit of pride in the jersey. They're going to be able to do something, right? It's Big Ben's last game if they lose. It's the playoffs. I think not having Dotson, not having Green, major impact. But they weren't good enough. They are not good enough. That's why we have the 2% chance to make it, and that's today's result.
No, I feel you. What about, we'll start from the start. What about the old 7-0 TJ Watt fumble recovery for a touchdown? What were your thoughts then?
Well, they needed to do that because they had the roughing the passer or the face mask call before that, right? So they needed to make that play. But it's like the best thing that TJ did on the day, or I thought as well, was his interception, the tip pass, the Bush guy.
Oh, amazing.
But like, who else was doing anything? Like, it just was off. It's just off, man. It's just...
Is it any different to what we saw the whole year, though?
No, and we were talking about this off air, right? What you saw today or tonight or yesterday, depending on when you watch it, was exactly what you saw in week 1, right? The defense shows up and gets you in a decent position to win, doesn't show up completely forward through the game. And, can the offense do it? And against some teams it can, and, in some weeks and other weeks it can't. It's just not a good enough offense to do it week in, week out. And not when you go up against a playoff team that plays good defense as well.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Vikings game a lot.
Either reminded me more of the Chargers game.
Well, that too, because in both games
They're
we're
the
down.
same thing. I was messing with you. It's the same thing.
I feel
Except,
you,
you know
man.
the difference? The difference is in the Vikings
that?
game, you didn't see Cousins rush the way that you saw Herbert and Mahomes. Like that one where Mahomes took off. I mean, there are 3 holding penalties on that anyway, right? So it's a crock of shit, right? But you know, you saw today the difference between having a mobile quarterback and not having a mobile quarterback, because there's a few times a game when the quarterback can extend the play.
All right, we got you for a short time, but for a good time. So we got Bob Craven here. What about Cameron Hayward? How do you feel about this guy?
He said something interesting in the post-game press conference. So number one, he stood up for Alualu and Tuitt, but he said multiple times. He said firstly, we only got introduced. He was like, I don't know what Big Ben was saying about carrying the torch, and he was a bit reluctant with that. But I think he will take it on. But he said a couple of times, if I'm on this team next year. And I've sat there what? Now, that could be a turn of phrase, right? I don't want to send everyone into a tailspin about it. I can't imagine Cameron Hayward requesting a trade. It's too early, really, for him to retire. One, he's got too much money left on the table. It'd be silly not to. And number two, he could be here for another 3 or 4 years and see the team turn around and try and get back to a Super Bowl. And by gosh, do we need to get Cam Hayward a Super Bowl? But I think Hayward's dealt with a lot this year and had a lot on his shoulders, and you've seen that with the 10 sacks. And outside of TJ, to me, he's the best defender. Minka's had a better year than what people think. Kello's come on in the last few weeks. But Cameron Hayward, he's the heart and soul and the blood of this team. And, he didn't do everything great tonight. But there was one play where he's rushed the quarterback, and then you see him make the tackle after the person went 5 yards past the first down. What the heck? He's a defensive
I saw
end.
that. Yep, I saw that.
And Cameron Hayward's really a defensive tackle, really. And so you just sit there and you're like, he shouldn't have to do that much. It's like Big Ben. At 39, he shouldn't have to do that much.
Well, that brings me to my next point. Before I go to my next point, what do you think about the playoff that we've lost now? An average, probably, I think, 44 points in the last 3 games playoff. What are your thoughts about that? We've given up 40 points in the last 3 games, at least.
This team is built around. Now, I'm going to say this, and most people will say that's every team. But this team is built around 5 really good guys on offense and 5 really good guys on defense. And it's been like that for a while.
Can I stop you there? Does that cut the mustard, though? Does that cut the mustard? I don't think it does.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. It doesn't, because even when you've got AB, even when you've got Lav Bell, even when you got Big Ben and you had a decent O-line, you couldn't get over the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? At the same time, you had Hayward, you had TJ. I'm trying to think back to some of the guys that were in the secondary at those times. Hayden was in his prime.
Nelson.
You had Hilton coming down, right? You had problems at safety. It was before Minka. I'm just trying to think who else was. You got still Tuitt as the other defensive end. Alualu, still super fit. I think we even had Shazier had gone down a couple of weeks before. But you look at that, and that team couldn't get over the Jags. You look at it makes, you know what? And this is a fresh take before you and I had a quick chat. It makes last year's playoff loss even worse.
Reckon?
I do, because that was a much better team in some ways.
Right.
Overall, didn't necessarily have the best players, which I think a lot of players have developed, right? And there are problems at tight end, for example. It's just one position. But overall, if you had to rate each individual bloke, they were better last year. They just were.
I thought we had a better team this year, but I understand what you're saying, because we have people who are developing this year. How many players do we, rookie wise? How many players do we play on offense with rookies?
But see, I felt like I agree with you. We had a better team in that, going into the season, you had Melvin Ingram, right? So you had quality depth outside linebacker. A fit Dotson is a better team than LeGlue, right? A fit team is Juju, Claypool, DJ, Washington each and every single week. Freiermuth, Gentry, Ebron, if Ebron's fit. Now, Ebron's not everyone's favorite, but he can still do stuff in that receiving game, right? Gotcha. And so for me and Tuitt and Alualu, we had a better team on paper this year, but that team never took the field.
No, it didn't. No, it never started with anything. And I want to bring up this other point too. There's another good point for everyone listening. I thank you, everyone listening. But this is a good point. How come, Matty, and we'll talk about this too on touching on it, but this is my show too. How come we never solved the Tuitt issue or the Alu issue the whole season?
Well, I'll tell you, you heard a rumor, and I heard it really late in the piece, right, at the trade deadline, that the Eagles were willing to let Fletcher Cox be traded for a third rounder. Now, I will preface this by saying Fletcher Cox is one of my absolute favorite players. I think he's a terrific player.
Mm-hmm.
You put him on that defensive line, right, next to, Haywood, Watt,
Yep.
even Wormley, like, oh my lord, right? Now, Monty Adams, get him 4 or 5 weeks earlier, perhaps he continues to develop. But Fletcher Cox on that defensive line, with especially with Devin Bush coming back and he's got the suspect ACL, that we would have stopped the run, right?
Yep.
We would have completely stopped the run. And so, sorry, dog drinking in the background. But that's a massive loss, and that cost them countless games this year.
100%. So that's my question. So how can we never change that? That was the same issue we had all year. And the same issue we had with middle linebacker too. We never changed that. No defensive scheme changed that.
You kind of would get it. You would kind of get it if they kind of were tanking and they got a high draft pick. You'd kind of get it. But it's pretty hard to get from this team that said they want to make the playoffs the whole time, right? Like, it's, to fill that, it's hard to understand. It's a simple answer.
Well, it is very hard to understand because you had we missed Alualu, we missed the Stephon Tuitt for his issues and things going with the Steeler Nation. That happened. The same time, the way that we played this game, we're in the chance of the dance pretty much every single game, but we're always got behind, and we got given up the run yards after countless times, and we never really fixed that issue. Same, for instance, we never really fixed the issue of Mike Hilton. If your dog's not barking anymore, what about your thoughts on Mike Hilton missing? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we didn't fix it the whole year, bro, did we?
We didn't.
No.
There's no plan for that. Now, they went and got a Kello. They went and got a Kello. Great, outside stuff. But Sutton, I don't think's proved he's great inside.
No.
They don't have a willing tackler there. You sit there and you're like, where's Carl Joseph? Like, why couldn't you play him as a slot corner? He's a safety. Like, they went on and on and on about Carl Joseph being, still, even though he was 31, still playing him, and Tomlin loved him in the draft process, had him on the practice squad all year. You didn't really see much of Carl Joseph this offseason. Sorry, not this offseason, this season. So you sit there and you're like, what are you doing? There's just some really questionable things. And I think Tomlin liked him. I think it goes back to someone that's off field, and that's Keith Butler, and I don't think he's up to the job.
Right. So let's ask that question now. I know we got about 15 minutes to go. Do you think that Keith Butler did a well enough job this year, and do you think is he on the hot seat?
He's got to be on the hot seat, unless you like mediocrity. His deal's up. He can't, I don't care what our colleagues at Behind the Steel Curtain, a lot of them really like him. I don't, right? He doesn't create a defense that at every single position level, like whether you're talking about defensive line or the linebackers or the secondary, he's capable of constructing a game plan that's going to stop an offense.
Yeah, your dog's going off, bro. He's pretty upset.
He's done, right? He wants to take his terrible cow collar off and throw him in.
I want to get into a few things while we have some time, and I like, you know what I do? I like being in this seat. It's fun. What do you think? We talked about it all year, Matt, and I appreciate you being here on my show. Remember, this is my show, so I can block you. No, I'm joking.
I'll give you the finger, then you can block me.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Culture. What's going on? Culture. What are we doing?
If you can go and find this, and I don't want to deviate people away from Mark's channel, so go do it after this.
You can do what you want.
But Steve Smith was on Pat McAfee's show in the last couple of days, and he talked about losing is like smoking. Mm-hmm. And when someone, smokes around you, you smell of smoke. Your hair smells of smoke. Your shoes smell of smoke. Your clothes smell of smoke. And it's not until someone says, hey, you're a smoker, and you go, no. And then you realize, I smell like smoke, right? And he talked about it in the context of the Cincinnati Bengals and how they've been able to change that stench of losing and this change that stench in the analogy of smoking. I wonder whether we've taken up, they're Steelers right now are teenagers that have taken up smoking, right? Because they seem to, when the going gets tough, not enough of them get going. And as a Steeler fan, you look back at our history, particularly over the last 15 seasons, 16 seasons, that's a pretty hard thing to digest.
Well, that's the big question, I think, with this Steeler team. You talk about, TJ, Cam, and Minka, but do you think that 3 guys can run the whole team?
Of course they can't. There's 11 guys on the field. You can't. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
But it's also not good enough when you've got a defensive coordinator that can't scheme other guys into playing above their talent or playing even to their talent.
That was my next question to do with the 3rd and 20. So say, for instance, you're on 3rd and 20 and you're a player like Trey Norwood and you're playing zone coverage and you kind of know that the play's shit. Like, the play's terrible, right? And you still got to play it. And the same thing happened with the offense with Big Ben. The play's terrible, but you still got to play it. There seems to be something missing. Do we have to go outside the house to change the culture of getting a new offensive coordinator, getting a new defensive coordinator? And the players, to me, don't seem to be the overall problem. There seems to be something else on the other side.
Yeah, so I think the offensive coordinator, it's simple to go after Canada, but Big Ben's never going to fit in the Canada system, right? So if you're going to go out and get an offensive coordinator, I think you're probably not drafting a quarterback, right? You're going after a veteran quarterback. They say they want to go after Mason. Some people think Mason fits in Canada's offense. I don't know, because I don't think I've seen a proper offense from Matt Canada. I think I've seen some hybrid between what he wants to do and what Big Ben's capable of. And yeah,
are we limited by Big Ben? Does Big Ben's limit us in that offense?
What was it? 30? Didn't the offense in the last 2 minutes of the first half have like 30 yards, and then didn't Collinsworth say that TJ had 46 yards, right?
Yeah.
And there were 26 yards of passing against the Chiefs. Now I know we don't like to see Ben throw the ball in the playoffs. That's abominable, man.
Dude, James Washington had 36 yards reception, two receptions in garbage time. And there was nothing working to do with the Big Ben offense. As much as we love him, this year was the thank you, Ben, see you later. And I think we got to look up from this. I got a question. I know we got about 5 minutes left with your time. We had one from the Real Tight Spot. Or just give me a wave whenever. I'm going to stream for 24 hours because I feel sad. No.
I'll keep going for a bit.
No, I love it. The Real says, who are we going to draft the quarterback?
The fire alarm's going off.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, the whole building.
The building's going off?
Yeah.
Is your wife home? All right, if you want to cut it, man, I'll keep talking.
The building's being evacuated, buddy. Just like
really?
The Steelers evacuated on the
No
season.
way. All right, man. Holy shit. All right, Matty Peverill's getting his building evacuated from a fire alarm. That's kind of crazy. But I hope he's well. I appreciate Matty coming on to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's fantastic. He had to cut it short. I thought I did hear in the background there was a fire alarm, but now it turns out to be it's the whole building's getting evacuated. You've heard it here first. The hot take and the breaking news is Matty Peverill's alarm's going off. And that's crazy. All right. I appreciate Matty being on. We'll make this a very short show. We'll make it a very, very I don't know, dude. Matty was Matty was so keen to come on. Maybe he might come back if he comes back in 5-10 minutes. But he finished work and he wanted to get some Steeler stuff off his chest, pretty much. And I thought, I like being in the interview role. If anyone, what I might do in the off season, if anyone wants to talk Steelers, I'll put it out in the Steelers group chat, and we can do some interviews. We can do exactly the same thing I'm doing here. I can talk to you, George Todd. My mate, Mavo's mate, Ditsy had a bourbon for your loss. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Let me turn the light on so I can see what's going on. Well, that made no difference. I turned the fucking light on. Didn't do anything. Yeah, maybe in the future, like I want to see if I can grow this channel and do some good things with it. G'day, Pepper. How was your night, Pepper? We had Matty Pepperell here, my good mate Matty from Sydney. He had a fire alarm go off in his building, so he's got to check that out. But there is time in the future. If you guys want to do, maybe get involved. I would like for you to guys check out Steel Nation Australia on Facebook, then go to the group and join the group. And maybe this time I could have some more interviews with Elijah, with George, with Bob, with Pepper, and a new haircut. I'm open to pretty much anything. As long as you're a good person and you can talk and you know how to talk, give for the gab. That's fun to me. Man, Matty was out of here like a cracker, like a firecracker. Because boom, see you later. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, if you want to check him out, he's a good dude, Bob. He's a really good dude. I still haven't met him in person because he's about 2 hours away from me, and we've had COVID complications the last few years. And every single time I've gone to go meet him, COVID comes up, lockdowns, and all that kind of shit happens, and then I can't go meet him for a beverage. I'm hoping to do maybe after Super Bowl, maybe even go there for Super Bowl and say hello. But yeah, yeah. Maybe that's why his dog was going off too. His dog was going well off. His dog was like going crazy. His dog, is called Biscuit. But I know we'll figure things out. I'll put some stuff in the chat. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about this team. This team didn't play well today, and I'm pretty. Maybe I'm a bit buzzed from I've had a few bourbons too, so I'm a little bit buzzed too. But I'm very happy about the season. I'm very happy about the Pittsburgh Steelers season. Like, we had a good season this year. The hardest schedule. We beat the Bills. We beat the Titans. We went 4-2 in the division. We played our best we could. Now, come to the playoffs, we played exactly the same way we always play. Thanks, Pepper. We played exactly the same way we always play. The Pittsburgh Steelers have let in an average, I think, about 43 points in the last 3 playoff games. We lost 45-42 against Jaguars. I had it up here. Sorry, my apologies. We lost 2017. We lost 45-42 against the Jags. What is going on now? I can't even see. Oh, man. The next game, we lost against the Browns at home, right? At home. Remember, I think the Jags, too, that was at home as well, where Jacksonville Jaguars came to our house and beat us 45-42. Terrible. The Browns beat us last year, 48-37. Terrible. KC, we go to KC in the wild card. We lose 42-21. Terrible. So pretty much on average, about 44 points. We've let in 44 points on average for the Steelers team. It's just not a good team right now. And the thing I want to hark on them, if I can keep doing, I really do want to keep doing at least one video. I've got live stream tomorrow. I want to keep doing one video a week. I'll do a live stream. I don't care if we talk about nothing. I don't care if I get 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, 1 person. I'll try and do one live stream a week, and we'll talk, just to let loose and say, hey, what's going on with our team? I think that's the best way to do it. But there is something we're missing. There is something with this Steeler team we're missing. I don't know what it is. We are missing something. Look, it could be, some people might think it's the Mike Tomlin. The Mike Tomlin era is maybe over. We need to change. We need someone to come in the door. I like Mike Tomlin. I really do. I think he's a standout guy. It's hard to give him positive vibes after a loss, but I don't mind Tomlin. I think he's a good coach. However, there is something missing. There is something I can't put my hands on and put my voice on to be like, hang on a minute, what is actually happening? We have TJ Watt, defensive outside linebacker, 22 and a half sacks this year, defensive player of the year. He went off today. He got a pass, stop, pass deflection, picked off by Bush. He got a 4 pickup fumble. Cameron Hayward got a fumble. We run away for 7 points. It's not TJ. Then we have Cameron Hayward in the middle, and I'm talking defense first. Cameron Hayward in the middle, who played his heart out the whole year, 32, veteran, crazy guy, super, super, super like talented, and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Okay. Then we have no one really at defensive tackle. There's no one at defensive tackle. There's no one there. There's just a guy. We have a defensive end, Chris Wormley, just a guy. Okay. He came from the Ravens. He did okay, but he's just a guy. We have no Alualu, and we had no Stephon Tuitt throughout the season. Okay. But we should have fixed that. Now, going to in the outside linebackers, we have a guy with Alex Highsmith, who's number 2 opposite TJ, but it's his second year. Played pretty good, but overall didn't do things like Lamar Woodley or James Harrison or guys like that. He went okay. He could be something special, but I don't think he'll ever be anything like TJ Watt. Okay. Back to the middle linebacker. Middle linebacker, we have Joe Sherbert, who got cut by the Browns, who used to be a good cover Brown middle linebacker. That's about it. Never showed any initiative to do anything to go and tackle, to get involved in the defense. And we'll get to the coordinator. Okay. Never really showed any initiative to do anything with this defense. Nothing. I didn't see him make too many big plays or get around the Steeler idea of the identity to be a Steeler. Devin Bush came back from injury. Same again. The whole season, it felt like he coasted. Come back from injury, just coasted. Nothing really there. Behind those two guys, you had Robert Spillane, who's trying his hardest, just a guy. Another guy like Spillane, just a guy. Okay. Behind Alex Highsmith and TJ, Taco Charlton and Derek Sutska, 2 guys. Guy that got let go by the Chiefs, that Taco Charlton, right? I think it was a first-round pick. Just there for numbers. Okay. Our defense is good, but these guys are just guys. Heading into the quarterback market, Joe Hayden played his heart out, but he's getting older and he's a veteran, and he hasn't had many winning. He's never won a playoff game. Joe Hayden's amazing, never won a playoff game. Is that Joe Hayden's fault, or is that the defensive coordinator's fault? Behind him, we played James Pierre for many games. That kind of fizzled and went, see you later. We brought in Akilla Weatherspoon. He kind of went shit for the first few games. That went, see you later. He started to get better near the end. Same with Montravius Adams, who came in too. On the defensive line, he played better. I'm just saying the Steeler defense is a bit different to how it used to be in 2004, 2008, 2009, 2010, with the big boppers, Vince Williams, Lawrence Timmons, those kind of guys. We used to get after it, and we used to have some form of like identity. And people were scared to verse us, being the McFadden, the Troy Polamalu, the Ryan Clark, those kind of guys. They were scared to verse us. James Harrison, they were just scared. James Farrier, they were scared. They were scared to verse us. Terrell Edmonds is a good run stopper as well. However, we seem to be getting burnt. We get burnt in dime packages. Cameron Sutton and Trey Norwood played okay too. Trey Norwood played pretty well. As a rookie, but he shouldn't be put in that situation to where he's covering Kelsey and he gets burnt. Or he got burnt that 3rd and 20. So schematically and from the defensive wise, there's something missing, and I can't put my finger on it. I just can't put my finger on the pulse. What the fuck is happening? Because we have all these players, we have so many guys, but we have TJ getting the most sacks in NFL history or tied. So what is happening? There's something needs to be changed. There either needs to be a change in leadership in the group, in the defensive group, or there needs to be a change in defensive coordinator to change it schematic wise. because Minka got involved. Minka was the leading tackler this year, and we can't have that. We can't have Minka be one of the best players on defense. However, he gives up a lot of tackles, and he also makes a lot of tackles. There is something missing on that defense. There is something missing on that defense, and I think we all know it, but we don't know how to fix it. Elijah said, let's rebuild again. And I think we are going through a bit of a rebuild. We definitely are. Get Flores as a new defensive coach. I would agree with that. He played pretty well with Miami. He won. I think he was from Miami. He won like 7 games with Miami in a row. He went to go that way. We stuffed up. I'll talk about the offense next. Where's the next James Harrison? I don't know, but I think we have TJ. But how do we complement TJ? I don't know how we complement TJ because TJ is doing so well in the defense, right? Doing everything you asked for, doing more. It was almost a TJ show. TJ had 7 points. He deflected the pass, interception. He picked up the fumble, ran away for a touchdown. It was 7-0 going into the first quarter. Casey went down 7-7. Next minute, 14-7. We can't move the football. I'll get to the offense in a minute. Then it was like 21-7, 28-7, 35. TJ can't do it all. That's what I'm saying. There seems to be just guys on the defense. 32nd best defense running. We're probably one of the worst teams I've ever seen. 3rd and long, 3rd and 13 plus, 3rd and 12 plus, 3rd and 10 plus. We are definitely one of the worst ever teams. I don't remember the last 3 or 4 years watching a Steeler football game and saying, 3rd and 12, they're going to get this. They get it every time. Every single time we play soft zone coverage. We don't rush the quarterback how we used to with Mike Hilton. We don't rush the quarterback how we used to with Vince Williams and the guys off the edge. We send 3, we send 4. Everyone else plays back. Next minute, they convert the first down or they just get it. It just happens every single time. That 3rd and 20 shouldn't happen. That Trey Norwood play, he's playing zone coverage. He needs to know that Kelsey, I'm not a football guy, but I know what I see. He needs to know that Kelsey goes behind him and he's the only guy. He's the only guy behind him. Turn around. Okay? Something's got to change on this defense because we cannot keep letting up 44 points average in playoff games. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. Offense-wise. George Todd says here, a new QB will change the direction of the club and time for the Steelers to do a complete makeover. I tend to agree with you because offense-wise, yes, Big Ben is one of the best players. Mwah! We love you, Big Ben. Done great. However, Big Ben is not mobile. Big Ben is a tree. He's a tree sitting in that pocket. He can't do anything. He's got a good mind on him. And he just can't make those plays anymore. Big Ben can't make the plays like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. Can't move around. He's too old. He's too old and slow. There's no reason that he can't do anything. And I also want to say too, I've got a better grasp on defense than I do offense. So let's see how we go with this, right? Offensively, Big Ben had a year this year I wish Big Ben told us he was going earlier than what he did. I wish he told us earlier because then we could have rallied around him before the Browns game. It would have been nice to know, hey, mate, you're going home. Thank you. Let's rally before you go home in the Browns game. Didn't happen that way. We played pretty good in the Browns game, played pretty well in the Ravens game. Big Ben didn't do very well passing the football, fumbling, too slow in the pocket. Our offensive line, if you start with that, left guard was Danmore Jr. for half the year. Rookie. All I can say is I don't know the NFL that well, but you can't start a rookie. He did his best, right? Left tackle, sorry. Left guard was John LeGlue. It used to be Kevin Dotson. He can't get healthy. He's the biggest unit there. Can't get healthy. Next, Kendrick Green is center. Played okay, but near the end of the stretch, was getting bullied on the O-line, getting pushed back, and it looked like he was getting every single person he versed at defensive tackle, he was getting pushed back, and he had no chance to do anything. Kendrick Green needs to work. He's a work in development, but why do we play him that way? Why do we just use him? we use Hassenhauer near the end. Still wasn't enough. Okay. Who's next? Right guard was Trey Turner from the Panthers. He's okay. I did like his skills to be. He was a bully himself. I like the way he would punch and get to the second level and start to move players around. I do like the way how he plays football. It's very physical. It's very in your face. And he pushed everyone and he did his best. But even to a certain extent, where I talked about being a guy, Trey Turner is a guy. He's a guy. He's just a guy. There's nothing really special about Trey Turner for what he's doing in this offensive line. Nothing. Just a guy. Next, right tackle was Chooks for the most part was there. I can't pronounce his name, but we all call him Chooks. You know what I'm saying? Number 76, I'm pretty sure. Chooks, similar thing. Can we get an upgrade from Chooks, or is he going to be our right tackle? Zach Banner, we paid Zach Banner all that money for Zach Banner, and he gets hurt and he doesn't see the field the whole fucking year. The whole year. We have Chooks. Nothing against Chooks. I just think he's a guy. So the offensive line was the 32nd best, pretty much in the league, 30 whatever. We can't run. And I've got a comment here from Kova. I felt bad, so bad for Najee all season. The line is so bad. He had to do everything himself, and his one fumble all year was totally forgivable. I agree with you 100%. That fumble, if he fumbles, the team should make up for that. Najee, we'll get to Najee. So we figure out the offensive line. Okay. Let's talk about fullback. Derek Watt was our fullback. Now, on the offense, he ran the ball once. He ran the ball once on this offense. Now, I want to see him do something better than that. I want to see him getting more involved in I formation. Fuck, you saw today Mahomes and the Chiefs. Kelsey threw a pass. You saw Mahomes threw an underarm pass to Tyreek Hill or whoever it was. You know, you saw this offensive do something. Something was happening with the offense. We've been paying Derek Watt like $2 million, $4 million a season. He doesn't fucking play. He doesn't play in this offense. It just doesn't happen. Why? Why don't we use Derek Watt in this offense the way that we should be using him in motion, getting him to motion out to the tight ends and get him pushing that ball and that pocket forward? At the same time, why don't we use tight ends? The way we use tight ends, Eric Ebron went out. Eric Ebron went out and we had Freiermuth fill in. He was a rookie. Freiermuth played pretty well, but at the same time, the offensive coordinator, we couldn't use him the way that Ben wanted to. We just couldn't. Nothing was matching up, right? Nothing was happening. Zach Gentry came into the play too. He started playing pretty well as second tight end, but he's just a guy. He's tall. He's so tall, but he's just a guy. Okay. So we had problems there at tight end, and we also had Kevin Radar being the third tight end. But Kevin Radar, Derek Watt, they're special teams guys. And I'll get to that in a short moment. So we cover the tight ends. Okay. Back into the receivers. The receivers now, we had Juju go out very early. Very, very early. Hurt his shoulder. He came back today. What do you do? Okay. We had DJ. I thought DJ played pretty well the whole year until he started dropping it and still start getting into his head. And he's trying to get involved in the offense, but the O-line can't give him enough time to get open. DJ had a pretty good year. He did. DJ had a pretty good year, over 1,000 yards, so many receptions, I think about 7 touchdowns, right? He did the best that he could do involved in this offense. I was very appreciative of what DJ did. Nothing against him. Next guy, Claypool. I'm done with you. Claypool, I'm kind of done with you, mate. Either you show up or you get out. I'm done with you. Because there are guys like Washington and Ray who I think play better than you. I think Ray and Washington played much better than you. I really do. I think if you're that big of a person, 6'2", 6 foot, whatever you are, a massive unit, you need to get over the small cornerbacks and start playing a better way. The amount of times that Claypool goes for a pass and leaves his feet and can't find his feet and jumps and falls over and he just can't finish the play is ridiculous. It's like, why? What are you doing? What are you like, yes, it might have worked in college, but it's not working in the NFL. You need to start doing better. You're one of the most skillful receivers out there, and you call yourself Mabletron, but you play nothing like him. Nothing. You might get 2 catches out of like 6. 2 out of 6 and a 30% rate and saying, oh, you're doing okay. All right. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, Claypool. You're a skillful guy, but you have to do better. You must do better. Next, Washington and Ray, I thought stepped up this year. However, Ray stepped up and played his best. Ray is similar to DJ. He played his best in this offense that I think he could. He got us to a 4th down completion. We got the 4th down completion. Kick the ball through the sticks. Bam, we win the game versus the Ravens. Now, Washington, at the same time, played okay. However, he never played him. We never played James Washington. Never happened. He was had trade rumors at the start of the year, and we just didn't play the guy. He had the most receiving yards today versus the Chiefs. We never played him. Never, ever played him. It didn't happen. It was more like Deontay, Juju, Claypool, Ray, Washington. Never played him. That's got to change. That's to do with coaching. That's to do with Big Ben. That's to do with him not getting open. That's to do with Big Ben looking at his first look. That's bad. Washington's a pretty good. He could be a guy, but he's a pretty good receiver. He's got sure hands. But we never understood what was next. We couldn't see what was next. We saw Ray's ceiling. We saw Ray was playing pretty good, but he was only targeted twice a day. And the times we went to DJ, see you later. Nothing happened. Times we went to Claypool, see you later. Nothing happened. Okay. Now, the biggest part of the offense and what I think was the best part of the season to watch, and if you look back in times of life in the Steelers season, the 2021 Steelers was given life by this guy, Najee. Najee Harris was the life and blood of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quote me if I'm wrong. Every single play I saw that guy carry the football, and you're right, it was totally forgivable, Katie Cover. Totally forgivable. I don't care that he fumbled. Totally forgivable. He ran that ball, and he wanted to grasp every single yard that he was on the field. So many times today, even in today's game versus the Chiefs, he was stuck 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8, and he was like, oh, I can't do that. Bam, through the line, gets 6-7 yards, moves the football forward, and we have a chance to get another first down. The best player on offense, the offensive player of the year for the Pittsburgh Steelers was Najee Harris. He is a breath of fresh air for that offense. He is one of the best running backs I've ever seen. If we give this Najee Harris an O-line, if we get some better pulling guards, that we can pull the guard out and hopefully get some better angles and run around the corner and get a bit more space. If we have a better left tackle or a better center to do something, then we're going to see Najee go off and get 100-yard games every single game. And a lot of Najee's yards was getting hit after the yards after hit. So we need the offensive line and also having a mobile quarterback, new quarterback coming into the system. We'll also give Najee a better go, because today there was a play with Big Ben versus Big Ben with a halfback draw, and it was abysmal. It was terrible. The halfback draw was like, it looked like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like there was no conversation of what was going to happen. Najee was in front of Big Ben. Big Ben did not know what to do. It was like a wildcat play. It was like an RPO, and it stuffed up. Najee gave us the best chance to win. Najee and DJ gave us the best chance to win on offense this year until it came down the stretch, and we just couldn't move the football forward. So that's me covering the offense and the defense. I don't know how you feel, but I feel pretty good covering that. Let me go into the special teams, and then we'll start to if we get some more questions, we'll see what happens. Special teams, I want to give a big thank you to Chris Boswell. Chris Boswell is an amazing kicker. The Wizard of Boz. We need to sign him for life. The Wizard gave us every chance to win. If we had a chance to get down to the red zone, we didn't get to the red zone today until third quarter, fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Chris Boswell gives us the best chance. Like Chris Boswell is Hall of Fame to me. He's Hall of Fame. Justin Tucker's number 1. Chris Boswell's 2. He's automatic, man. He is just one of the best kickers I've ever seen. We'll talk about Presley Harvin. Had a pretty good game today, but he punched the ball like 7 to 8 times. His season overall, pretty average. It was like whatever. You know, we probably could have kept Berry, but Berry was going to another team. We might have wasted a draft pick on Presley Harvin. Yes, he had some issues with it. Look, I feel bad for the bloke. He lost his father during the season. That's terrible, right? Crazy. It's just bad. That's bad. I don't want to write off Presley Harvin. I don't want to write off Christian Kuntz, long snapper holder. They're whatever. They're the same, right? Those three can hopefully build a partnership together. Harvin, Kuntz, and Boswell can build together. Now, kickoff returns, I think the whole year, it doesn't matter. I've said this for the last year or two. Kickoff returns, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. You can't do anything. You just kick the ball into the end zone, and the coverage-wise, you're good. There's no coverage. Punt return, I did like the play of the Gunners. I thought Pierre, we kind of missed Pierre. I think Pierre was out today. I think Pierre, I'm pretty sure he was out. And, cheers, real mate. Gunner-wise, we need some thumpers to be the Gunners, you know. Is it meant to be Justin Lane? Is it meant to be James Pierre? I don't know. Gunner-wise, we need the old-school mentality. I actually miss from a few years ago, Darius Haywood-Bay was a gunner, and he was a fantastic gunner. Yes, people gave him shit. People gave him shit for being a bad receiver, but Darius Haywood-Bay was one of my favorite players to be that fifth receiver, and he was a great gunner. He had the speed to burn past the cornerback or whoever covers you in that situation, to run down the field and knock that player down. Now, I do give props as well to Derek Watt, who played good on special teams. I do give props to Kevin Rader, who played pretty good on special teams too. He's a big unit. I do give props to Miles Killebrew, who blocked 2 punts, I think, this year. Joe Hayden wasn't offside. I thought we did pretty well in special teams, except for we gave away a big kickoff return today. But what do you do? That happens, right? I thought the players did pretty well. I thought UG3 was on pretty well on special teams. I thought we did, overall, pretty good job. The thing is, our offense let us down and our defense let us down in the middle. In the trenches, our defense let us down through the middle, and our offense was just sometimes a bad show. It just nothing happened. Nothing really. We're relying on DJ and Najee to do these things for us, and that's it. Nothing happened. But Danny Smith did a pretty good job, in my opinion, for special teams. I thought we made some big plays. Yes, we kind of miss Olo Identity, who used to get the fumbles and that kind of stuff. You need to keep a guy like Killebrew. Maybe we also miss a guy like Jordan Dangerfield, who was also pretty physical in that game and that mentality. I thought Marcus Allen did kind of okay in certain situations on special teams, but he did very poorly in the game when he was playing like the dime or the what's the other one? Dime or nickel, when it was going dime with. It was Marcus Allen and Trey Norwood were playing linebackers, and they would just get beat. There were so many times in that game where Marcus Allen and Trey Norwood were friggin' faking to rush the quarterback, and they were never going to rush the quarterback. Not those two. They're not big enough to rush the quarterback like that. It wasn't built that way. So they would fake and come back and say, "Oh, okay, look, we're going to play in coverage." But I did enjoy those two playing good special teams. All right, man. It's just so many different things, and I understand. And like the rule says, not every team can win and make the playoffs. I get that. I understand that 100%. This is why we follow the team. This is why we talk about the team. It's just crazy that some of these things need to be worked on. The coaching needs to be worked on. The quarterback needs to be worked on. The whole O-line. Cultural wise, turn off the music and just play football. Some of these things need to be worked on. Hopefully I covered most of it. I feel like I did. Cheers, mate. Harvin, probably the best game. Yeah, he had that's it. He had a lot of practice too. He had 7 punts? I don't know. Yeah. a sad day, and this is the hard day that always happens in Steeler land. And we're all big fans, and it sucks, but we've got to move on, I guess. Pepper says, got to keep the Wizard of Oz. 100%. Pepper, sugar. I like how you say that. I like how you call me sugar. That's so cool. Yeah, you got to. Steelers miss the playoffs 1,000 times over next season. Yeah, we could dude. We could miss the playoffs next year for sure. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Will James, another Steelers season's over. Well, we had a good season. Can't get mad at them. They will come back better, stronger. I agree with you. I know that about the season and then because of my Las Vegas Raiders. Dude, the Raiders are good side too. We're in a very similar situation. It's just hard. It's just very hard to see your team play terrible. And the Raiders had a chance 2 days ago and failed. What do you do? Pepper says it would be nice for the Steelers to score before garbage time. And that's a good point. Maybe the defenses are playing back a bit more. So at the same time, when they play back, maybe our offense isn't that good. They're letting us do better plays. You know, I don't know. Maybe when we go and score that 14 points down by 28, the defense is playing more push-off coverage, and they don't care as much. So it makes our offense look better. It could very well be that same way. It could very well be that same way. I don't know. So it looks like that Matty's not coming back. So let's do a last 5-10 minutes, and I'll say goodbye. It's been a big day, but I thank everyone for coming. It's like you guys at my house, and I got to shoot you out. It's like, you know, when like the guests are over, you got guests over, and you're like, oh shit, what time is it? Fucking oh man, 10:30. I'm so beat. Oh god, I'm beat. You know. Oh, where's the news on? What weather's outside? Oh, it must be cold outside. It could be raining soon. Oh shit. What time you guys going home? That's what I feel like. I gotta like chop you guys out. You know? Pepper says here, you make my day when you giggle about my southern isms. No, I like it. I gotta tell you a quick story. So when me and my friends, and I wasn't there, this is like a story of my mate who was with a mate, his story. Okay. They were in Texas somewhere, like around Texas at a rodeo somewhere. I don't know where we were, at a cafe or something, or like a touristy shop. And they come back out of the shop. I was in there for a little bit. I walked in, and the Southern hospitality, one of the ladies behind the desk, it might have been yourself. She was like, "Hey, sugar," and we're like, "What?" Oh shit! Hey, I think I was there for the first bit, and then I walked away. After that. Anyways, I come back out, and my friend and his mate, or another guy on the tour, was like, "This lady just kept calling us sugar." She just kept calling us sugar over and over and over and over. Like, "How you doing, sugar? Everything okay, sugar? What are you looking for, sugar?" And I was like, I've never heard that. Like, I heard it once and I walked away. But my mates were like, "We've never heard that." Like, they just kept calling it sugar. And I was like, it's kind of cool. Like, does that mean I'm sweet? Like, yeah, we don't say that in Australia. But it's kind of like I guess like a lovable kind of like greeting, you know, like a hello. But that was like, yeah, somewhere in Texas. And she was like, "Hey, sugar." And then I went and like looked at a hat and walked out. But my friend and the other bloke was in there for like 10 minutes having a conversation, you know, talking to this lady behind the desk. And she was like, "Hey, sugar, how's everything going?" I was like, "Yeah." So now it's cool. Like, I like that. I like that, you know, you come in and say Southernisms or Han and stuff like that. Makes it more personable. Makes everything more personable, right? And it's good to have, look, people from everywhere. I can't believe that people were from everywhere. like all over America and all over Australia. And you're listening to me rant about the Steelers. So that to me is fantastic. That to me is I've done my job, and that to me is fantastic. So yeah, I think it's cool. Is anyone get any more questions before I go? Questions. Anyone? One more, two more. I know it's very late for you guys in America, but any last thoughts, and I'll say one last thing. Yeah. I'm full of selling grace and charm. Told ya. Oh, you told? Yeah, true. No, it's cool. It's cool, man. That's not the way you need to be. You know, like for me in Australia, a lot of people call me bogan. With me, what you see is what you get. Me yelling at the TV, swearing, that's me getting passionate. Me telling you a story about Hey Sugar, that's my life. That's just me being me. You know, the idea of this channel is the Steelers, but sometimes you're gonna get the little personal things about Mark Davison and who this bloke is and what life's about. And that's crazy too. I think life is crazy in general, man. Like I've been doing some traveling, and when you're running around traveling, like life's amazing. There's some hard times in life, but when you go traveling or go and talk to people and you understand their story and you give them a high five, you give them a hug, you're like, what's up? How are you? You know, you go and ask the local cashier, lady, girl, how's your day? And they go, how's my day? Yeah, how's your day? How was your day? They go, what do you mean? No one ever asked me that. Yeah, dude, how's your day? What's going on? What are you doing today? You know, I like that shit. I like that idea of life because, you know, I'm a weird cat and life's life, man. That's what it is. Steelers are here, but all the rest of it too is just my personality. Katie Kova says from YouTube, is Colbert leaving? I think he is. I think Kevin Colbert is leaving. This is the funny one. I think he's leaving after the draft. But makes sense. It makes sense. Because why would you want to bring someone in who has no idea what to do? Maybe Kevin Colbert has the draft, gets the pieces in order, drafts everyone with, you know, everyone else around him. And then he teaches the new guy to come in and say, oh, this is the steal away. We want this, we want that. You know, show this is what you want to do. So he's going to do the draft and draft the players who I think we need for the future. And he probably cares about that. He would have to care about the business. He'd have to care about the business. I've been in my life when I've been working, you kind of care about the business when you leave. You know, you want to make sure that everything's done a certain way. You want to make sure it's done your way. Okay. So he's leaving, and he's someone I don't talk about too much. We tend to don't talk about the general manager or the Rooneys that much. We do, but we don't. Yeah, you know what I mean? We don't really talk about the general manager or the owner or the draftee guys, the physical guys that do the weights with them. You don't talk about that. You don't talk about lunch lady Doris who serves them food at the campus. You talk about Najee. You talk about Big Ben. So I wish him all the luck, but I think he's been there 16 years. And when he leaves, Big Ben's gone. And I think Tomlin might have a fresh start for someone. I think Tomlin's going to be there. Tomlin will be there for the next 5 years. If you love him or hate him, Tomlin's going to be there the next 5 years. Will James says, I think we get Matt Corral. I have no idea who that is, to be honest. No idea. I couldn't even tell you who that is. Pepper says, I've been in retail almost 20 years. Just how I give personal customer service. That could have been you. That could have been you, Pepper. That could have been you in Texas. We're at a rodeo. That could have been you saying sugar. Saying, hey, sugar. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to end today. I think we're going to end it. I'm going to stream tomorrow. Cardinals versus Rams. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Will James, Bob Craven, Pepper, Katie Kova. Who else we got? The real tight spot on you, mate. Andrew, Pepper. Thank Elijah. Thanks, man, for everyone coming in. Oh, dude, imagine, eh? Imagine if that was you. If that was the same person. I just got confirmation it was a fire alarm. Matty's okay. All right, Matty's okay. He just said to me the whole building evacuated twice. Wow. What a way to get out of an interview, eh? Jeez. Whole building. Holy shit. The whole building evacuated twice. So Matty got his steps in. He got his steps in down the fire escape. That's crazy. All right, guys, I gotta go have dinner. Thank you once again for coming to Steel Nation Australia. It's been fun, crazy season. I'll see you guys if you want to come by tomorrow. Rams versus Cards. I've got every single playoff game wrong. I've chosen every single one wrong. I'm going Rams tomorrow, so Cards are going to win. Cards are going to win. Let me do this on the way out. And as always, I hope it's not too loud. I think I might be a bit loud. I might change that in the future. As always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Yeah, it's a bit loud, isn't it? I will change that in the future. See you guys. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.